Welcome into Truth Friday. This is a good one. Hey, I just got back from watching Depeche Mode last night. How are you doing today? We're talking about Depeche Mode. Well, I'm talking about Depeche Mode because I love Depeche Mode. But we're talking about something that I find that's a cherishable thing to talk about. Things that I find in my team that's happening right now is we're talking a lot about carrying that feeling of shame. So if somebody says something to somebody that it feels like, oh, I'm being shamed. And I know that with Fresh Talks Global Vision, we've been talking a lot about that our worldly vision is that there is no more shame, blame kind of thing out there. And I think people who live in shame other people. Like, you're not doing it right. It needs to be this way. You're doing it all wrong. Your way is not as good as mine, and things like that. Or, the world needs to be a certain way. And we're putting a lot of that emphasis in this world that things are right or wrong, and that the way I think is right, instead of being open to other people. And if you're in the space where you feel shamed because of something that you haven't cleared yet, I'll talk more about that you are feeling like shame coming at you. So the what I'm realizing this morning when we're talking about the word shame is that it's complicated. It's like it's a twofold kind of a thing. So let's get in there. Let's talk about that. I run Fresh Talks Global Vision. I created this type of show where I believe mindset transformation entertainment, that if we have that every day, that from meditation, getting our mind shifted, from growing our heart, from learning and having these conversations every Friday, that we get released and unshook of all of this stuff that's going on out there. And how do we live in a world where we can feel like we are healing, that we're consistently healing, that when we're 80, 90, if we, or even tomorrow, that we feel like we're consistently moving forward, that if anybody says anything that kind of gets you and shakes you up, that you have the feeling that you have the compassion, the empathy for yourself, so you can come back to yourself and say, hey, how am I feeling about this? And you can't blame that other person. You really got to look at yourself. And because when somebody comes at you and does these things, it's up for you to believe it or not. It truly, truly is. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that today so that we can be held accountable for things instead of being frozen. Freeze. Stopping ourselves from doing the stuff that we want to do. What are the things that you want to do that you're not doing this? Sometimes when you go into it, high energy, everything's going really great, but then you lose your luster because you're feeling something that stops you, gets you in a scared mode, and then you're afraid to go even further because you think that you're not getting the results you need, but you haven't given enough time. Those kinds of things that our brain just goes crazy. Good morning. And I don't mean that you're crazy. I mean these things that we were born into and that we hear from others. We're here to clear that. I'm just here to hold the space, and we're just going to use some words that help us feel like we have mindset transformation stuff. But it truly is that I'm partnering with you. So anything that you have to say today, I have the page open. You tell me what you feel about this, because we are all dealing with this in our world. How can we be living in our world? And I'm looking up the page right now to make sure I see you if you want to add anything in. I want to feel like this is a place where we get to live and in our four walls, expecting that from our family too, to treat us nicely. And how do we build those walls up that are like flexy, that people can come in and they're there, and then as soon as they start maybe doing this, that we educate them, or we just kind of go, hey, this is, I don't want to be part of this conversation. We start really building those walls, and that takes a lot of power, especially if it's in your four walls, and you been living with it because it was something you didn't recognize at first, or that you are maybe even doing it to somebody. I mean, I found myself, all of these things we all can get into. We can all get in and shame somebody and go, here, wait, I'm trying to hold somebody accountable. I'm not trying to say, oh, you disappoint me. I'm expecting this of you. And why are you not doing that? You should be acting like this, like whatever else comes up. Think about what comes up. What comes up in those things? I always go to this because I believe that we can quantum leap. And this is such a cool guide because it gets things shooken up. If you see some positivity, then where does it take you? Where does it take you? So this is called U squared, and some of my clients have it. Suspend disbelief. I'm just going to read this part right here. So if we suspend disbelief, meaning that we're not just working on our task list, because that is us being accountable. And we're going to come at it. Once I read this, we're going to go back into the shame part, shake it up. I'm going to do a little exercise, and then we're going to bring it together and how we can stand as one. Speaker locking arms. If you're not out there speaking, you know your vocals mean a lot. Everything you say. So we're going to support each other in that crusade about changing the world. First, us, our family out there, and just the projection out there. And there's some people in our family, that they're not going to go that way, and that's okay. We can't control people, but we can build walls to make ourselves feel safe. Okay, so suspend disbelief. This is from you squared. Act as if success is for certain. Instead of holding back because you don't have hard proof that you can make a quantum leap, see if you end up with the evidence proving you can't. Just make the jump. Act as if your success is guaranteed. And then see which set of ideas you should believe in. And then there's red brackets here. It says, if you must doubt something, doubt your limits. That's all I'm going to do right here. But if you are seeing this in replay, or that you are, we need to hear that again, make sure you hear it in replay. But it's really, try and prove to yourself that your intuition of what you're doing is not working. Because if you go all in, things are going to be working pretty awesome. But you got to be all in. You can't straddle. So if we go that route, let's go back to the shaming part. Now, in my team, and I'm going to give you an example so then you can bring it to what you're feeling. Like, I'm tired of hearing people, do the shaming. When something doesn't happen in our team, I'll say something like, okay, here's the list. Okay, what's happening? And then as soon as something doesn't go right, there's people in our team that will be like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so uncomfortable. And they go right into that shaming. And then it's like, no, I'm talking about this and I'm coming from here. Like, we want this business to be running and flowing. So give me some information. I need to hear what's happening. Why are these things consistently happening? What's happening in the flow over there? So you see how that works? Somebody can get shamed so easily because they're like, you're right, I'm uncomfortable. I didn't mean to do that, but I'm still being held accountable. I don't want to talk about that because I can't even deal with the fact that you just confronted me on that. And those words may not come directly out that way, but sometimes that's what's really happening in the background is we get triggered right away. So we're going to do an exercise. Look at opening up a plate here and those things that put you in a space where you feel like you're being shamed and blamed for things, and put it there. Like, this is stuff that just makes you feel like you want to freeze. You don't know how to get to the next step because the shaming is hurting so bad that it's hard to move forward. Now, what we're going to do is on that plate, we're going to put that information on there. And I think of stuff as food, like just scrumptiously good food. Well, this is food that we want to release out. So take an inhale. And as you exhale, start releasing this out on your plate because we're going to shake it up. We're going to Throw it over our shoulder. I'm making up as I go along, but this feels really good right now. Take a big inhale. And anything that feels like it's just not moving and you want it to release, get all that stale air out. This morning when we woke up, that sleeping, we were working on having 1 billion new cells in our body. We need those cells to be fresh and we need to get rid of the old stuff. So let's go again. Take a big inhale for fresh new thoughts. Exhale, come right back on the plate, and you can do this exercise throughout the day when you feel this. Bring it, tie it in a bundle, shake it up. Say thank you so much for the learnings. Who did that exercise with me? I felt a release in my chest. If you didn't feel anything, that's okay because we're live and it may take a moment. But if you're in truth with that exercise, what you're doing, you're saying, hey, all that pain or negativity in my body or the energy I don't have, I released out. I released out. Then I shook it. I said, all right, thank you for these learnings. Because there's a reason why it's there. So now you're getting rid of this stuff. Shake it out. Accountability. When we look at suspend disbelief, now we get to decide if you must doubt something, doubt your limits. Okay, so we got some of the shame out of there, and now we have areas that we say, well, I probably can't do that. Well, it's like, why'd you choose to do that? When you chose to do something, you knew you could do it. And it could be something that you haven't done before, but you knew the steps to do it, but you may still be in freeze mode. So doubt your limits. Go in there, do the work. Tell me, what are some of the things that you are working on? Hi, Dusty. No bars or brick walls. Not bars or brick walls, boundaries. Yes. What is that you said I am out there doing and you're not doing it? Those are your limits. You're like, hey, wait, why am I not doing that? Why did I stop doing that? Why am I only halfway in? And my grandma would say, why am I half-ass in? Let's do it. Whatever you want. It has to come from here. You got to feel it. I call it the fit process. You want to focus on it. You want to feel it. You want to understand what's the other side, if you get to it, that you want to do. I think of a global vision because I think of what's good for everybody out there. What's good for everybody, because I know that if I'm enjoying something, somebody else is going to enjoy it too. And it's going to be more than just one person. There's more people out there like us. What is it that you are born to do? It feels natural. It feels easy. But when you're in your limit space, it doesn't feel easy. So you wash that limiting space away, at least for right now. And then you can do that exercise again today. And then get back in there and do that every day. Every day when it shows up. You're no longer welcome here, but thank you. Thank you for giving me that information, because that pain of shame and that limiting space, I understand how to go very deep and be vulnerable because I've felt that pain before. But when I go deep and vulnerable, that pain is not there. I'm working on that pain to release. I don't want to feel that shame anymore and feel it, because you want to say, I don't want this feeling anymore. I don't want this feeling anymore. I don't want this limiting space. Then you don't compare yourself to others too. You find yourself in where you want to be accountable, right through the heart. Go, yes. Now accountability becomes easier because you're leaning in. It's exciting. You're like, oh my gosh, I want to do these things. Or say you're part of a team trying to help somebody in their business. Whatever I can do for you, I am here. Whatever I can do for you, I am here. If you're running a business, you're like, I I don't have limits. Not today, not for this moment. So I better go write my newsletter. I better go tell my kids that I love them. I better go call somebody and tell them how much I love them because I want everybody to know there are no limits. So that's Truth Friday. Hashtag Truth Friday. Global vision that we have here. Hashtag speaker lock in arms. You are a speaker, my friend. Get out there with those beautiful vocals, work on the shaming, ask me any questions that you just are like, man, this is awesome, or opposite. Tell me some more. I don't believe this. I don't believe what you're saying, Rhonda. Get it out there because we need to have this conversation going. And I believe that there are no bad conversations if both people are open. I love you. I love you so much. We just got done with our Fresh Talks Global Vision yesterday. And it was really powerful. I feel it. In these days, I know how it feels to feel shame and frozen. This is my last part of it. Yesterday, I was frozen for a little bit, and it's very hard when you're frozen. It's hard to get to that next step. So I know how it is. So I'm out there doing my crusade. What's your global vision? So that we can truly get to the essence of what our love is for ourselves, the love and the empathy that brings safety into our world when we start looking at ourselves, because we can love and empathize with ourselves. We'll stop shaming people on an accident, and we'll help people along the way that we're really close with and we go, hey, no more. Or it's a client, or it's a talk that you have and you're putting it together. Let's get out there and talk more about this. Love you. Namaste.